Live. We are live. We are live. We are live. And the camera is taking a few minutes to get the lighting right. Oh boy, the bright one today. How's everybody doing today? I need to get a little closer because I can't see the monitor. Glad to join in the fun. Good to see you, Archie. Beautiful day here. All is good from last week. Minor family stuff. It just came up like literally like about 5 to 11. So I literally had to deal with some stuff right away. So apologies all around, but everything is good today. Well, the world is crazy. Anyway, let me get my tea and I'll be right back. And we'll start this off. Beautiful day. I hope yours is good too, Archie. I hope it's nice there. Mm-hmm. What say you, Cat? Hmm? Okay. Oh man. Are you guys getting a cold snap back east? Yeah. Yeah, you guys are not getting good weather. Good spring. Well, wet spring, right? Yeah, holy mackerel, that's bright. Whoo-wee. I should have stayed like this. Now it's right in my eyes. Anyway, no big deal. Oh, okay. Month of May, yeah, record. Same here. Well, yeah, it was pretty rainy. Not so bad. Mm. Well, it's going to be a busy week for me. Nick, wife's birthday's next week, and I have something planned. I'm going to do something in the house for her, and it's going to take me all week. Nice. Yeah, we're getting like it's 50 at night, about 80 in the day. So it's the weather is really odd. Would be the good word, and we'll get into that too in the show. May as well get going, Archie. So I see it's just you today. I'm sure Retro will join, and JC and the rest probably show up eventually. Oh man, where do we go? What do we talk about? Holy mackerel! Oh man, is it ever hot? Well, I wrote down initially because it's the is it the fourth today? Did I write down the 3rd of June and it's the fourth? What day is it today? Is it what's the date today? It's the fourth, isn't it? Yeah, and I wrote down the third. Oh well. I don't know what I was. Anyway, I was thinking June comes by, and I always think of the Liberty. Uh, I'm sure you remember the USS Liberty. I mean, we were kids when it happened, Archie. I was 4, but way back when, if we take the clock back, and I was thinking about Iran, and you know, look at what happened on the Liberty. I mean, look what happened, and they could have got away with it. And I'm not going to argue like because there's some pushback on the story, right? But we all know what the truth is. A certain country painted a plane a different color, and then decided to attack and kill American soldiers to draw the U.S. into uh, the conflict. I believe it was the 7 Day War, 6 Day War. Was that what was going on back then? When a certain country, again, let's just say a certain country, Starts with an I, and it ends with uh, an L. And it's not Iraq and it's not Iran. So and when I was thinking about that, I was like, I was like, okay, great, because we've got the cuckoo over there right now, the screeching, the guy who keeps pointing at a picture with a circle with a fuse on it, saying this is what's happening, the UN picture. And what worries me is not unlike, because we know false flags are a thing in history. We know that they use them. We know that they do them. So when I think about the criminals over there in that sandbox, and I think about how would we, because they're hell bent and getting, because there's no way that that little shithole can win against that other country unless they were to use really big explosives. You know what I'm saying? It starts with an N. So I'm of the opinion, or I'm of a mind, that it is not unlikely or not unthinkable that somebody could paint a plane in the colors of something. I mean, it's going to have to be done really well. Like you're going to have to pull it like off enough to fool enough. Like a certain thing happened back in 2001, just enough to fool enough, and then you get the dog pile. So we have to watch for this. We have to watch for any kind of shenanigans going on that could be suspect. Like let's be real, eh? Yeah, it's unbelievable, eh? The sandboxes are just complete trouble. Anyway, I'm not going to go into the whole, but I'm just talking about history and what could happen in order to bring us all to that level. And it's very possible that, although, fool me once, shame on me, fool me twice, or sorry, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. Retro, good to see you, brother. I knew you'd be here eventually. Oh, what's up, busy day? Nursing a baby bird that my cat tried to kill. He's a trooper. You're trying to get the bird back? Well, unfortunately, we don't get the. I don't want her killing the small birds, but I don't care about the rats, but the birds. But anyway, back to Israel and Iran. Good luck with nursing a wild bird, man. It's not easy. That much I've read. I don't know. I think we did it when I was young. Found a robin out of its nest. Tried to. It died. We were kids. Mom. Wanted to teach us a lesson. Don't mess with Mother Nature. But we were kids, and we couldn't really knew what to do, and we didn't know what to feed it. We didn't have the resources, so the poor thing died. So, but we tried. We did what we could. But I know my mother. It was a lesson day. It was a lesson learned day. So yeah, so it's very possible. So we have to really be careful that if anything does happen, you know, uh, I was just listening to Max Blumenthal. I don't know if you guys listen to the Gray Zone, Grayzon, Gray Zone, the Gray Zone, Max Blumenthal and Aaron Mate, and he was in Iran. And look, listen, man, I don't have cousins in Iran. I don't have holdings in Iran. I don't have property in Iran. I don't have anything affiliated with Iran. I'm not on Iran's side. I'm just seeing what I'm seeing and just calling it out for what it is. And that criminal element is, I have been to the sandbox and I have worked in the sandbox in the military. And I have uh, uh, been blessed to interact with the local population. So I have a bit of an inkling as to what's going on over in the sandbox. I have no idea what's going on in the other one, but it doesn't surprise me, or won't surprise me, if somebody does something untoward to get others involved. That's all I'm saying, and we have to watch for this. That's all. That's all I'm saying. Or a live bird. Cat comes in the house with a bird, and and she drops it, and you think it's dead, and it just starts flying around the house, and then this thing going batshit crazy trying to get it again. We're trying to grab the cat and lock it in the bathroom. Too funny. Yeah, I had free flying cockatiels at one time with a cat in the house at the same time. Lots of precautions had to be taken. And believe me, for the cockatiels did not get eaten because my cat was like, I had a separation zone, of course, and a lot of stuff. But man, that cat was always waiting for that time. Like I would, it was all like the cat had the upstairs, I the birds had the downstairs. When I would, the laundry was downstairs. When I would do laundry, I'd be distracted. The kids were good. They knew the separation zones, but that cat would wait. It would just sit there and hide and wait because it knew I would be distracted. And it would creep downstairs with me as I was doing laundry, trying to get into the bird area. Little fucker. Anyway, never got the birds. Never got the birds. And Bobby is buried over there in the corner of the property. God rest the kitty's soul. Anyway, okay, so looking for that for Iran. And in keeping with the shenanigans and all the stupidity that's going on right now, I was looking. I see that I read an article, and I would agree with this. It reminds. Do you remember the movie? Was it Tora Tora Tora? Is that the one, the Pearl Harbor movie? It's not Midway. Tora Tora Tora. You remember Tora Tora Tora, right? What do we got here? Uh, oh, cool. Good. I'm happy. I'm glad. Good luck. I hope you get to release it. But so Tora Tora Tora, like right around the end of the movie, after all this said and done, I'm paraphrasing. I'm going from memory here because it's been a long time since I've watched Tora Tora Tora. Or Tora Tora Tora, whatever. Um, I can't remember which admiral it was, but they were, talking back and forth at the end of the movie, and he said they feared what they had just done, like a cog, like an admiral, a cog, right? He's just a cog in a wheel. Like he might have some say, but he's just a cog, and he knows what's what and who's who in the zoo. Like most of the military people know what's going on and are probably better suited to make decisions instead of idiots like uh, any Starmer, Macron, Trump, Carney. Any of these idiots should not make any kind of. But anyway, so he says that, and I'm paraphrasing that. I think we just poked the bear, or not the bear, but the lion, or we did something. We ruffled the lion's den or something, and now he had that fear that something would happen. And gee, what happened after that, eh? Well, we had Midway, and then we had the rest of our history. We can go from there. But when I look at this, what I would call, and I'm still looking into whether or not it was an actual real event or whatever. I all I know is that it's in the media, and it's being purported that this event happened. That allegedly the dancing fool from the Ukraine decided to launch drones and wipe out some planes and such in the art. Okay, if we'll buy that for a dollar, would accept that as an axiom. I mean, there's reports coming out that they were all, what do you call those, fakies? Just silhouettes or, mock-ups. A lot of those. I've seen a lot of those in the military. And but now we've got that situation, and people are speculating as to what's going to happen. And it looks like one of these stupid things, like, oh no, I think we just like, and that's why this guy's calling for it. I think he's calling it the Pearl Harbor incident, is because, oh shit, what have we just done? And it's kind of like, yeah, you know, it's like you're always, when you're having to fight with your wife, right? It's pick your battles. Be sure you pick your battles effectively, right? So anyway, let's see what happens. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I love them both. Like epic, good Hollywood productions, no CGI, real fire, real explosions. I mean, you can't beat it, man. You know, a lot to be said for CGI. Don't get me wrong. A lot, like Roman, I love your shit. I love your shit, bro. I really do. But for me, practical effects, like you can't beat the head blowing up scene in Scanners, man. Scanners, the head blow up. Yeah, okay, it wraps around when you do it in slow mo, and it doesn't look that great when dated, but when it happened on the screen, when I saw scanners, man, holy fuck. You know, when I saw the thing on screen, did that guy's head just come off and turn into a spider? You just, what the fuck? Yeah. Okay. So did Ukraine just shoot themselves in the foot? And also in keeping with that stupidity, and with the stupidity, and I'm not, and in my opinion, as a military member, those were legit targets. If you want to accept it as a thing that Ukraine and Russia are at war, and Ukraine launched drones onto those military no problem. Smart or not, I'm not going to argue. Valid military target, yes. The train bridge, to collapse it onto a civilian train to kill civilians purposefully, that is not kosher, and you will pay the price for that. And if anything is to happen because of what happened most recently, it would probably be because of the train and not really. I mean, people speculate, oh, it could have been because of a couple of Russian bombers, but I would be more pissed about the train bridge. That would be me. That's my take. Yeah. Yes, it could be that. It could be that the two big players, or the three players, maybe China's included in this as well. I mean, you see, I don't look at it as countries anymore. I just look at it as entities. So yeah, that hypothesis is not is valid. Yes, they could be in it together, working as a group to make uh, a conglomerate against that conglomerate, and then get rid of that conglomerate. That's it. And if NATO is a conglomerate, like the European Union is trying to, make itself, and they're going to turn NATO is going to be the European Union soldiers or whatever, then yeah, it could be just a game. And we were talking about it last night. I was talking to a buddy of mine. If two things, in my opinion, can happen, either it's real or it's fake. If something happens and it's limited, and it starts and it stops, and then we get a lot of reporting afterwards, then I know it's fake. But if it gets uncontrolled, if there's bombs dropping in Revelstoke, and things just go sideways, then I know it's real. Then I know that it's for real, and then it's a real shooting match. Anything else will be just a contrived event, just to get us into more fear. Cold War, if you want a 2.0, 3.0, it doesn't really matter. But there's two events that are going to be coming, and that's about all I can say about that. Yep. Oh, absolutely. Like, the world's the stage, and we are merely players. Like, all the world, like and that's the thing. These cuckoos, whoever's in charge, and I don't know. Did you listen to that throne speech? The King of England came to Canada to tell our leader. Oh, it just drives me crazy. The king, yeah, him. Yep. Germany, Poland is doing something crazy right now, and that's the thing too. We're all looking at that. We're looking at the train. We're looking at the Oreshniks. We're looking at the bombers and everything. And meanwhile, there's stuff going on in, I think, Lithuania. I could be wrong. And Poland and all other. It always starts somewhere else. So it could just be that, starting somewhere else. So we just got to wait for that. The crazy world we live in. Yeah. Oh, the other day when we were inundated, I don't know. We had wind here the other day, because I'm just segueing. I'm done with the Ukraine. I'm done with the Iran, and we'll let the chips fall where they may. But I see for what it is. Something's coming, and they just want to get us ready, our psyche ready. Oh, the distractions. We'll talk about distractions. Whew. More distractions. Guess what? Two channels got reinstated on the YouTubes after a half a decade of being banned, or whatever, since 21, since the CV 1984. Anyway, we'll talk about that. But yeah, last week, what day was it? I can't remember. Last week, Friday, Saturday-ish. Beautiful day, sun cloud, sun cloud. Oh yeah, it was Saturday because we cut a bus apart at the fire department. We practiced on a bus. Beautiful day, sunny, cloudy, everything traveling normally. And then all of a sudden, around 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, uh, it something changed, and all of a sudden, the wind just started swirling and going like normally we get a west to east or north to south. This was all over. I mean, had trees, my cedars were like half bent over. You could see through them because they were moving so much. All the leaves came out of it like the little. I had to rake forever, but I was like it was like trees down, fires, the whole 9 yards. It went absolutely like it was like all of a sudden hell came to breakfast. All of a sudden it was like, what the hell just happened? The weather gurus, because that day I was checking that day because we were out cutting a bus apart in a field. It was just, you needed to know, oh, is it going to be a hot day? Water, hat, protection. So I checked the WX for the day, and no, everything's good, man. You have a mixed bag today. Everything's gonna be okay. And all of a sudden, hell came to breakfast, and I said, what the hell happened? And then I said, let me check the sun. And I checked the sun. I hadn't gone to space weather for a couple of days, and the sun on that day, and just before that whole event, had just literally barfed out a whole bunch of energy towards us. And I believe that because that day we also got aurora all the way. Did you have aurora last week? Did you guys see aurora? Supposedly it was all the way down to Florida or low Texas or northern Texas, but aurora that far south is like almost unheard of. But I tell you, whatever's going on in the planet is what we're being distracted from. Like, it was so violent and quick what happened, like a thief in the night, that it really, like, my wife was not happy. She was quite frightened. For me, I was more like, okay, the radio is going to go off and I'll be going to do something with it. And of course, it did go off, and there were trees down all over the place. And of course, because everything's above ground here, when a line goes down, when you replace it, you should bury it. Don't put another one next to the trees. It's going to be broken down in an hour. So, but anyway, it was absolutely insane. I'm just curious if you guys had any absolutely nutty weather. Nutty? No. Okay. Yeah, I'll agree with. Yeah, dissolve. NATO's not required anymore. NATO was only there for one reason, and now it doesn't. Your reason is gone. But the problem is, it's like anything else. Once you've made something, it's hard to dismantle it, because it's like the car industry. It, we have so many cars on this planet. We do not need to make any more cars. We don't need to make one more car, not one. Like, I'm sure, but we can't stop making them because it's a whole thing in its own right. We could do the parts thing, keep the older cars going, but we don't need to make new cars. We should dismantle all of that industry and just keep the ones and the stock that we've got already, and the ones that are running keep going. We don't need, and it's just like that. But we've made something like NATO. We've made something, and they just, well, it's jobs. It is jobs. So no aurora for you guys. I didn't see anything. I came out, but there was nothing, and the windstorm was up and gone, just like oh, somebody turned a switch on, and somebody turned a switch off. Anyway, I'm just saying that through tongue in cheek. So the sun's in charge. Everything else is bullshit. Oh, this just in: breakfast cereals like Fruit Loops and Sugar Crisp and all that are bad for you. Just thought I'd mention that. They did a study. Okay, okay, another one. Really? My mom could have told you that, man. Wait a minute. That's my IQ. No, no. Yeah, my mom didn't need a study to tell me that Fruit Loops were bad for you. It'll be interesting to see Fruit Loops after they ban all the dyes and stuff like that, what they're going to look like. They'll probably look like the cereal that, you know, like the no-name Fruit Loops, like because I remember when I had money, I bought Fruit Loops, and when I was in the military, I ate Fruit Loops because they were free. But when you go get the no-name stuff, when you buy them yourself, you're like, hey, these aren't as orangey, and they don't smell as chemically, you know. Yeah. They might untie it to run the planet. Yeah. Yeah, we're in Rollerball. It's Rollerball right now. We're in Rollerball in 1975, not the shit one that was remade. The 1975 corporate war Rollerball, or not, there wasn't a corporate, but they allude to the corporate wars. You know, ooh, they were nasty. Yeah, exactly, exactly. If it's gonna get like that, if it's a corporate war, as opposed to a belly painting war, like a cheer for my flag war, it'll be different in my opinion. I'll be duped into fighting for something stupid. They're coming to take your women. They're coming to take your water. They're coming to take your jobs. They take your children, your cats, your dogs. Okay, I wrote down. Do we even need to talk about the Gaza? Oh, no, you're not fast enough to get the robins. She just went after a robin. Yeah, good luck, eh? That robin's half your size. The robins are big. She's not gonna. She'll get a baby, but she won't get an adult robin. No way. They'll beat her off. Same as the crows. She chitters and chatters for the crows and say, "Yeah, good luck, eh? I'll peck your eye out." It's Freedom 75. Yeah. Uh, all I can say is like, if ever there's a time when I get to pick a door to walk through, I'm hoping it has 1980 written right on it. I'm going right through. The music, before all the stupid rule changes, the food. We were ignorant in a sense that we didn't really know that everything was bad for us, so we just kind of went with it, you know. Oh yeah, she's stalking the robin. Look at her go, eh? Good luck. She won't get the robin. Yeah, you know, if I'm walking down the hallway and there's a door and I see 1980 written out, I'm going through. You know, I'm going through. Yeah, I can play cowbell. I know cowbell. I'm sorry, but I couldn't carry a tune in a bucket, unfortunately. Yeah. Which organ is that? Okay. Okay. So on some, yeah. Hey, on a positive note today, not like I care, but anyway, but like, and this is more that more distraction is being piled back on. James Corbett and Dan Dix's channels are back. So Press for Truth and the Corbett Report, which I've subscribed to both. I like James's, you know, straight across the board reporting. Uh, I I listen to Dan Dix's reporting, and I do enjoy some of his work. So they're both back. Yeah, good for you. I'm glad. And they're just like, I just watched a bit of James's video before this morning, and it was like, oh, and he was just like, you know, he's funny. I have to. I like his stuff. I do like his stuff. Yeah, let's be as healthy as we can. Yeah, 227, eh? 2027. You know, man, I'm happy if I get through the summer. Busy place this summer. Busy place. Okay, so watch the thing on allegedly. We tried to do some shenanigans in Iran and do a coup. It's from Max. I didn't really watch the whole report. I just got snippets of it. Been pretty busy, and I'm like, okay, when are we going to learn? I mean, right now, if I'm not mistaken, we're having talks in Turkey, Istanbul, with Erdogan as the head cheese on Turd Mountain or whatever. And meanwhile, they're still doing shenanigans. See, something is disconnected. It does make me feel like there's entities at play that are hell bent on absolutely starting something up. It has nothing to do with anything else but their own bottom line. Like, it reminds me of the stupid movie. Not a stupid movie. It's a fun movie. The Long Kiss Goodnight. When the criminal is like, I'm just about to pull off the biggest job of my career here. It was all about the Benjamins. He didn't care that he was killing 5,000 people in his own country. He didn't care. I've got my ranch and my horses, so I'm good. And this is it. We are in an epidemic of hedonism and entitlement and self-absorbedness, if that's a word. Michael from Brian T. Good to see you, brother. Is that Brian? My eyesight's shit. I don't have my glasses on. Trump. Oh, well. Carney and Trump. Yeah, it didn't. Carney and Trump. I think TDS literally helped, because everybody, even though Peter Poilievre would try to disassociate himself, I'm not a fan of Peter, but I'll just, for what it's worth and what I saw and what I gleaned from it, was that he was not a fan of Trump. I'm sure he would work with him, just like you're supposed to work with any world leader, whether you like him or hate him. Like, you've got to, sometimes you got to put the personality aside and go with it. But in my opinion, there was an association made because conservative, for whatever reason, if you want to look at it that way, that people were scared that a Peter Poilievre government would have been a Trump government or something like that. That's my opinion, because I remember talking to some liberals, and oh yeah, no way, he's for him, and I was like, no, he's not. But then again, you get lost right in the conversation. So yeah. They all love and live. Yeah, live in LA and Las Vegas. Yeah, somebody just put out a thing about America and who's done all the killing. Yeah. It's certainly not Lesotho. While South Africa might be a lawless nation, it's certainly not South Africa that's doing all the world killing or the nation building, for what I can glean from the interwebs. But that's just me, right? I'm just a dum-dum living in the mountains. So, oh, the garden looks good. I'll tell you that for nothing. Okay. Oh man. Okay, just on a note, like, and this is a thing that's really, this is real. This is real, because we were talking this at firefighting. And we've got a town here in Canada. Oh, you can Google it yourself. Don't believe me, because I'm just some dum-dum in the woods, right, with a big head. I think it's Williams Lake, has either declared a state of emergency or is in the process of declaring a state of emergency, or want a state of emergency to be declared because of the criminality they have in their small community. Williams Lake is not a very big place, but what's happened is, by design, in my opinion, is we've allowed a certain, what do you call it, drug abuse or mental health to just go unchecked. We've closed all the institutions since I was born. Since the 1960s, they've been. There is no good places to go anymore. Like, can you watch the movie Grosse Pointe Blank, when the mom's in a home because she's gone, but that's a private situation, and those are private healthcare. Nobody can afford that. So we've got a total epidemic of mental health. We have Williams Lake has just declared a state of emergency. We've got guys here, sketchy Sketchersons, I call them. Hi, I'm Sketchy Sketcherson, and I'm sitting over here behind a tree with a bag, just waiting for you to get out of your car so I can. Lady got out of the car right here, walked into the post office, right out of her car, right here in the cusp. And I never lock my truck and shit. It's a toolbox with wheels, okay? You want to grab my old screwdrivers, go ahead. But this guy literally watched it, and he just darted around the, grabbed the wallet. But my neighbor saw him do it, chased him down, got the wallet back. But that's what's going on right now. We got this mental health situation, whether it's drug induced, whether it's societally induced. I don't know. I don't care. But it's the real deal. And then we've got the nurses up at our hospital right now. We're talking like, because we've got only so many cops in this town, eh? It's a small town, only so many cops, and they're busy. I'm not going to fault them at all, because they're part of the Fed system, like the RCMP. They're feds. Eh? We don't have local sheriff of mashed potatoes here where we can have Billy Bob, whose dad's been living here 1,000 years. He's going to keep the peace. Now, we don't want a Sheriff Teasel, the guy from First Blood, who really fucking stirs the shit. But we've got the nurses here being accosted. So we get a mental health issue. And then I watch this tragic video of this rich influencer, YouTube video, literally undoes herself from her harness while she's being dragged behind in a parasail and falls to her death. If you don't tell me that the fucking planet has gone absolute batshit crazy and we're not addressing real issues and we're just looking at effing, did you see latest Game of Thrones? Was it great? Was it great? Never saw one. I'm not railing on the Game of Thrones at all. I didn't watch all the Seinfelds either. It's crazy. But there's video. You can go and watch. It's horrific. Oh, did she have a... What? Where's your handlers? This is the thing, eh? We've got people who won't say the truth. Like, you're fucking nuts. You're fat. You stop picking your nose, or get off your ass and get a job, or whatever. We won't say these things, but we'll beat around we'll bitch and moan about other issues that mean absolutely nothing. Like I'll argue about the colors of Fruit Loops. Well, there should be pink ones. I'm sure there will be in Pride Month. There's probably Pride for cereal right now. I'm just joking. Okay. Canada is becoming lawless. Have you seen what's going on just north of you? Archie, you're right next to Toronto, or Ottawa, or sorry, Ontario. Sorry, you're just south, New York. I think that you guys share a border, and it's lawless. I mean, when I say lawless, I mean, of course, it's not the Wild West, but we're talking about like the gang shit that's going on, like you see in South Africa. Now they're eating each other right now, which is okay. It's gang on gang violence. So, okay, fine. Did you hear that? My heart's beating for that. Gang on gang violence. I sad. Somebody's brother or sister or whatever, but shit happens. You make your choices, right? When Putin retires, it will become another pet too. Yeah, he'll have a job. He'll have a YouTube channel. Oh, what I wouldn't give to go to North Korea just for a visit, like Dennis Rodman did. I'm sure it's fine. I don't know. I really don't know, but I would be willing to go there. I'd absolutely be willing to go to North Korea. When Putin retires, it will become another pet to the U.S. intel services. Yeah. We'll see how it goes, man. I think there's so much going on. They're pulling us in all directions, so it's really hard to keep your head on a straight, on a swivel, on a intact on your melon. Spend time with your cat. Spend time with your family. That's the most important thing. And I don't know what time. What time are we at here? A little bit by 30 minutes. Okay, got lots of time. So yeah, birthday present for the wife next week. I'm gonna paint the whole kitchen for her, so I'll be busy. Spruce it up, make it nice. Pimping Volcanoes. And I'm only in keeping with the science that's been being purported right now, reported, whatever purported, that as the sun does its business and the rays go through the earth, I'm not a scientist, okay? I'm only speculating on my limited knowledge of the sun and the earth. Okay, so we know about the sun sends out invisible things, neutrinos, stuff like that. I'm of the opinion now that that glowing orb has changed its, or something has changed. I don't know. And that we are being inundated with new stuff and new things are happening. And I think all the distraction that's going on right now is to keep us from trying to figure out what that is. Now, whether it be like, are we going to have a change of kind? I don't know. Am I growing? Am I going to grow another arm out of my back? What's the thing that humankind needs the most on an evolutionary scale? Do I get a third eye in the back of my head? What do I get? You know, or is it just one of those things that we're just going through a cycle? I don't know. I don't have the answer. I just feel that that is why we are being distracted from all of this other stuff, because we should be concentrating on this and this. That's just my opinion. Yeah. Bummer. Reason being not visiting Canada this year, Archie? Just don't feel like it, or your dollar's worth more than ours? Yeah. Mars. you know, so much we don't know, eh? I'm sure there's a book that has all the real stuff in it, but it's been so poo-pooed or just, you know, whatever, that we've lost our way. I mean, there's so much we don't know, and then we've been just so like propagandized, with the books and the last 2,000 years of manipulated information as or what have you. I've got to just be true to my school. Try and just identify what I believe is like. Does it even feel right? Does it make any sense? Is it logical? That's all. I don't even know what more to say about that. But yeah, lawless in Canada, and that's unfortunate too, because and we're doing it to ourselves. We're not. We always, like, and I'll just make this statement. We always say, "Oh, Canada is an immigrant nation, and a nation of immigrants." And yes, that's it. When we came to Canada, we became Canadians, and we became uniquely Canadians. Maple syrup, beaver, moose, whatever you want to. BC has trees, Atlantic fish, whatever. But we became like when I think of back to Halifax in Nova Scotia, when the Underground Railway finished in Cape Breton area, and a lot of African Americans, former slaves, settled there, and they assimilated with all of the locals. And now, if you look at it, basically now you just have poor and rich, but poor white and black, and rich white and black. So there's no. It's not about, they assimilated, and what we've done now is, like, over the last, our modern history, in my opinion, our real modern history, like our last, let's say, 50 years, 60 years, we we brought over like whole groups, but we instead of uh, salting them out into the community, we plunked them like a block of cheese into a certain demographic or a certain area, and then they would just take over, because that's what would happen normally anyway. But you see, we're what Canada's being turned into is different factions of groups, demographics. You got the First Nations, Indigenous, Aboriginals, like our First Peoples. You've got, we have the East Asian groups that's up and rising, Chinese up and rising, Frenchmen, Quebecers, for lack of a better term. Oh, absolutely. Oh, there's no doubt. CTV, global CTV, CBC, and any of the other like smaller affiliates, CP24, all of them are TDS. All of them were liberal. There are a little bit of pushback on Carney from the CBC most recently, but nothing that I would write home about. But yeah, we are like my brother called me from Montreal. Okay, Montreal was absolutely just a melting pot of people, all kinds, all over, everywhere. Yes, you had the rich, affluent on the West Island. That's where we lived. You know, uh, it didn't matter what you were. You were just the rich lived there, from Point Claire all the way to Bay d'Urfé, and then just the melting pot of everything all around downtown. But you went anywhere. The only thing that I noticed when I was in Quebec and when I was growing up is that in Montreal, especially, that it was a French and English thing. It had nothing to do with whether you're white or black or green or blue or purple. It's what language did you speak, and that's if you got better service. Like if I went to the east end of Montreal, I did not speak English. I did not pretend that I spoke English. I would put on my best French and my good joie, parler comme du monde, comme du monde qui vient de Montréal, and then no problem. But now, my brother calls me. He says, "No, Dorval is it's Somali 2.0. The X another not Dorval, but there's another community. I'm just going to say Roxbury, but I'm wrong. And it's all the Haitian group that came in, and they put them all there. So they never They never salted them out into the community. They never assimilated. That's the thing, eh? Yeah, that's the thing. You can't. If you want somebody to be truly American, you have to immerse them into the apple pie culture. If you put them in a neighborhood with, that's why I argue with the point where Jagmeet Singh, our NDP guy, like I argue that, well, I don't think he's really Canadian in the sense that, yeah, he was brought over here with his family. I think he might have been born here, but his parents weren't, and they raised him with their values, which were not Canadian or Canadian culture because they were from adults. So to think that they would just come over and all of a sudden they're all wearing Montreal Canadiens jerseys and swilling maple syrup out of beer mugs and stuff like that is, I don't think so. And that's where we've gone. What's happened? We've allowed, and now we're separated. Now we've been divided, divide and conquer. Huh? Same old, and we've been duped again. And now we see this is where we find ourselves. I don't know how we're going to go back from that, how we can extricate ourselves from that shit sandwich. But that's where I find ourselves today. If you want a community to be diverse, you need to salt it, And I don't mean like salting a claim. Yeah. Yeah, like I have my identity, but like I don't identify as like, ooh, like I'm Irish, Scottish, French, so, but okay, but I'm Canadian. I honor, my grandparents and my parents, and I honor the memory, the struggles that they did. I mean, it must have been shitty in Ireland when the potato famine hit and we all got the hell out of Dodge, so we didn't have to starve. And we came, and then when we got off the boat in Cape Breton, that's where we stopped, and we went to work, and that was it. Coal mine, because coal mining was big, and the country was growing, but it was everybody, a melting pot. Hey man, I got my Montreal Canadiens jersey. I'll never be not a Montreal Canadiens fan, although I don't watch them anymore because the game's not the same. But the world is changing. Canada's lawless. Oh, are you guys following the ostrich story up here? The WHO long arm has infiltrated into our Canadian health agency and is now going to come up here and murder about 400 ostriches. Did you guys hear about that? It made Dan Dix was doing a story on it, and a few. It made the mainstream in America on a couple of channels, but I don't know if you guys know about it. But this is more indication of how this country is completely not free and is beholden to other entities. So when I think about that ostrich farm, and it's the WHO that's mandated these rules, and we're following. I think that we're one of the only ones that are still signed on with them. I think you guys shit canned it. Yep, the whole fucking flock. And he, like, I followed the story a bit. Like, Ezra's just down. It's half an hour down the road. I could go there and do a report, but there's enough reporting on it, and they'll do a better job. I don't know enough about us, but the gist of it is that, you know, the bird scare, the bird flu. A bird gets sick. This is what I'm remembering, and I could be wrong, so please correct me, or you can confirm the story and check on yourself. A bird got sick. They destroyed it, did all they had to do, followed all the protocols, did and obeyed the rules. And I think that that's what got them. And now the rules are coming back to haunt them. And now it's like, well, we got to get rid of them all. And there's some backstory to this about ostrich eggs and big pharma, and you know, it's like one thing. It's like Nike don't want people in bare feet. Reebok don't want people in bare feet. They want you wearing their shoes. Now, a lot of studies coming out now saying that barefootedness is. Now, I'm not talking being a kook like me and playing sports in bare feet or hiking in bare feet or running in bare feet. I'm just talking be barefooted in your yard or barefooted walking around in just normal settings where you don't require shoes. Yeah. So there's something like with these ostrich eggs, something right now that there's something, and we're being sold a bill of goods, like, oh, it's because of this that we have to do it, but it isn't really. So you look into the story yourself and you can come up to your own conclusions. But yeah, we're essentially going to kill 400. I think 400. I think I've eaten ostrich meat, and these are not okay. And here's another kicker: they don't fly. As God is my witness, I thought turkeys could fly. Well, I know ostriches can't fly. I'm pretty sure, I'm 100% sure on that. So the thought of the avian flu escaping. Now, the argument is, oh, another bird will land, pick it up, and take it. Okay. But these people are doing the rule. They're testing. There's no flu. There's none of this. And they're still going to go in and say, well, better be safe than sorry. You know what? And they've already pimped. Don't mess with any of the feds that come across. They've already, the media is very, very upfront about the fines and the jail time you're going to get to scare the normal civilian, because normal civilians will not want to go to jail for 1 hour as opposed to a month or 6 or pay a $10,000 fine. So yeah, nothing will be done. There will be no standing up. The feds will come in and kill them all, unfortunately. Okay. Yeah, I think they're raising them as there's two things. I think they're raising them as a study. There's something about the eggshells. There's something about the albumin. What that fucking word means. And I don't know. There's something about their eggs that something special, like something. There's something about eggs that are, you know, perfect anyway, right? When you think about it holds a creature, and then something grows inside this hard shell, and then it comes out. So there's something about it. It's pretty perfect, perfectly intact, perfectly round. Like, you know, this perfect nature's perfect food. I've never had ostrich eggs. Yep, and that's what it is. I mean, it's just government overreach, I think. Gator. How was gator? From what I gather, I think, is it like snake or lizard? Gator is, it's a white meat, kind of like chicken, but not the same texture. Or the texture's the same, but the flavors. I really don't know. I don't think I've had gator. I've had bear. I've had, you know, all kinds. You know, elk and moose, of course. You know, cow. You know. Yeah. So they actually, like, you can go to a restaurant in Florida and get gator. Like, I'll have a gator burger. I'd be willing to do that if it's good white meat protein. I'd be absolutely willing to have that as a yum yum. Okay. So okay, but white meat, yeah, okay, or pink white, whatever, you know, like a pork chop. Nothing beats a good thick pork chop, tenderloin, like a pork tenderloin, thick pork chop with that nice bit of fat around it. Oh, I just love a good pork chop, man. I will never be a vegetarian. Okay, so yeah. Ostriches, check in on that. Pimping volcanoes. Etna blew off, but this has been blowing off every once in a while. And when Helen's goes off again, or all the volcanoes start popping off at once, which I don't think they are, then I can worry. But I am looking at the glowing orb and keeping an eye on space weather to the activity, the sunspots, all that stuff. So keep an eye on that because the sun's in charge. The sun's going to be in charge. It's always going to be in charge. Okay, pimping volcanoes, mental health, that influencer. Like you get the video of her absolutely unbuckling, and like it's tragic. You just watch it, you're like, what the fuck is she doing? It's like that's mental health, man. I mean, mental health. We're in an epidemic of mental health right now. It's in town. We got it. It's all over. I mean, and really, it's really not mental health. It's hopelessness. People have no hope. When you have no hope, you turn to things. You turn to alcohol. You turn to drugs. You turn to something. Porn. There'll be something that you have to to go into to get away from the shit. If you have no hope, if you're hopeless, fuck. No, I have. Fuck. That's hard. That's harsh. Where are the wildfires that are sending the smoke to the northeast? I don't know. You guys have smoke? We're good right now. We had one happen during that windstorm. We put it out right up on the Hot Springs Road. 12 o'clock whistle goes off. Means the show's over almost. We attended that, or it would have been a hell show because the wind was whipping so bad it would have just pushed it. It would have just the mountain would have been on fire. So we got that one out, and anything suspect, we're on it like a dirty shirt. We got our trucks ready. We did some remedial training for the wildfires, and we're just as ready as we can be. Right? We can only hope. Then we're at the beck and call of the system. They're not fighting fires the same way they used to, and in my opinion, they're not doing it effectively. That's just my opinion. I talked to a lot of the old guys. A lot of the guys have been here 80, 90 years. And this is not a new thing, but they're dealing with it in a different manner, and it's not effective, or not as effective as it used to be. But because guess what it's about? It's always about the Benjamins and the Bordens. You have Benjamin, we have Borden on ours, okay? That's why I say Benjamins and Bordens. Okay, so on my final note, destroying Ukraine does nothing. Because I think about, I don't know why this popped into my head, but if you think that the problem is going to, if they think that the problem is going to go away just destroying that, and that whatever shit sandwich was manipulating everything to get everything to be happening, if you remember, and this has popped into my head right away, it just came, I went, oh, fuck, of course. Whatever evil entity or criminal activity is organized to doing this, I'm not going to argue who it is. I don't care. All I'm saying is that, let's say the French fries and cheese and gravy guy, Poutine, does what he just paves it, turns it to glass, whatever. Okay, the people that made that happen are just going to be like the movie or the book The Stand. You see at the end of the movie when the nuke goes off, the flag character it turns into a bird and he fucks off and he's gone and he wakes up somewhere in a village somewhere in the middle of the ocean. That's what's all it is it just, you do this, you took the house away, everything goes into hiding underground, and then it comes out later in the form of something else. So think clearly, oh great French fries and cheese and gravy guy. Think clearly. Think wisely. That's all I can say to that. Really? A haboob. We're going to get a haboob. Wow. Ohio. Forest fires. Interesting. Seems a little sparse to have those, don't you think? I mean, we're screwed here in the mountains. They can be anywhere. You wouldn't know it for a day. They could be completely involved, until somebody sees some smoke and reports it. But yeah, it's just the way it is. So anyway, okay, we'll call it a show. Next week is busy. Next Wednesday is the day after the birthday party. So I don't see the reason not being a show. That'll be the 11th. I don't see there not being a reason, but I will let you guys know. Unfortunately, like it was only like 5 minutes before the show last time, but family and life intrudes. But that's just the way it is. But everything is okay. My friend who got hurted by the bicycle accident, and she's home now. Liver took a beating though, still leaking, still, but healing slowly. Liver hit, don't want it, don't want a liver shot, don't want to get shot in the liver, don't want to take an arrow in the liver. Don't take it in the liver. I don't want to take a kick in the liver. That hurts. You drop you like a sack of shit. But so that's back. Unfortunately, some other friends are not doing so well with the big C. That fucking disease is just hateful. And that's still rearing its ugly head. And we're still battling the Norwalk out here. People are still sick and lethargic. There's an absolute plague of lethargy going around the town right now. So I don't know what to make of it. But, anyway, we'll sign off. Hey guys, thanks for coming out. Brian, if you're still here, good to see you, brother. Good to see you back on the channel. Thank you for coming out. Yes, you're very right that the TDS is strong in the Canadian media and the rest of the population. Yeah, I'll do a before and after. Okay, I'll do a before and after. It's that. Okay, it's that dated brown trailer cupboards. In a mobile home. That's what I have, is a mobile home, right? Trailer is what I call it. And it's brown. Like this thing was made in 1983. And it's dated, old knobs and just old. So I'm gonna paint it, all of it. I'm gonna do do a counter cover, and just try and do so paint and a splash just to brighten it up. Just wood grain was great in the 60s and 70s, but we don't do that anymore. So it's time to move on. So anyway, but thanks for coming out, guys. It was really great to talk to you. Thanks for pinging. Thanks for allowing me to think. Thanks for saying a couple things on interwebs here, so I can get some things going. But yeah, I gotta look at Max and Matt. They've been doing a lot. Gotta watch what Corbett has to say about being back on that channel. James Corbett. I always love his stuff. Tongue in cheek, right? I love his. I used to watch Media Monarchy with Evan Pilato, whatever, all the time. They used to go back and forth. So always a good fun watch. It was never too harsh and never too heavy. That's what I take from that. So anyway, so I'll let you guys all go. As always, peace, love, and grooviness. Thanks for coming out. Peace to you and yours. Take care. All the rest, and we'll see you next Wednesday. Okay. Hope weather's good. I hope nothing happens and we just talk about. One of these days he's going to talk about a movie or something. Just talk about like Battlestar Galactica and how campy it was or something. So. Okay. Peace, guys. Peace, love, and grooviness. Talk to you next week.